For the longest time, if we go back decades and decades before, forget, we don't even have to go that far. If we go back into what our parents and our grandparents kept in their kitchens to help us treat common colds, common coughs, fevers, sicknesses, all of us, almost all of us, have this specific spice in our kitchen. And if we don't have it in our kitchen, it's easily available all across the world. Now, the spice that I'm talking about today, which aids in digestion, and we're going to explain exactly how. Because you see, when you Google today, you'll find foods that are great for cancer, you'll find foods that are great for belly fat loss, you'll find foods great for digestion, acidity, and all of that stuff. And you have lists and lists of that food, and yet you have so many people who have the same problems of acidity, digestion, inability to lose weight, poor skin, poor health, low immunity, cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular, all of that stuff. Because you see, information becomes power only when it's organized and used. So you can keep Googling for all the foods that can help you with every ailment that you may have, but it will not help you unless it's organized and used and we understand how it works. So today, when I'm talking about a spice that can help you digest food the right way, how exactly is it going to help you digest food the right way? When I tell you that there's a spice where if you drink a lot of tea and coffee, we all know too much of tea and coffee makes us acidic, and acidity is not good for our system, it's not good for disease. But by adding this spice to your tea or coffee, you can actually neutralize the acid levels and the caffeine in tea and coffee. When we talk about bloating and flatulence, we need to understand why certain foods make us bloat up and why it makes us, pass out gas. So now what we're going to understand is this one spice is found in the Indian chai. I call it the great Indian chai because it has so many medicinal benefits. It is cardamom, also called elaichi. Many of you guessed it right in your thread this morning in the post. Now, cardamom comes from the family of ginger. It has fantastic antiseptic and antimicrobial and calming properties in it. It's got chemicals that can help the food move through your intestines effortlessly. How? By reducing and expelling excess mucus from your digestive system. You see, mucus is a bad thing for us. Every time you get a cold or a cough or you get the flu and you have this thick mucus coming out of your nose, that's a good thing. Your body's in the healing process. Your lungs are trying to expel mucus, which is bad for us. If we keep the wrong mucus in our system, think of it as bad soil. It allows bacteria and pathogens and virus to grow more and more, which is why natural defense mechanism of the human body is to throw out that mucus in the form of us clearing out our throats and then spitting it out, or it comes out through our nose. But here we go popping pills that help us to stop the runny nose or keep that phlegm in us. And that phlegm now becomes from white to green to yellow. By changing color, that means it's gotten more and more toxic and more infected with bacteria or toxins. So the idea is to let mucus actually come out. Go back to the old days where you get that tissue or you get your handkerchief and you keep blowing your nose and letting that mucus come out rather than taking it back in and it goes back into our lungs and we create this vicious cycle of not healing, and then we have to take antibiotics, which is not a good thing for us unless we really need it and take it the right way with probiotics and a B complex. Okay, let's go into the king of chai. Your chai becomes the king of chai when you add cardamom to it. Now, you can boil your chai with cardamom or you can boil your tea with crushed cardamom. The beauty is, in the Middle East, I've learned over the last few years while I spend time with a lot of people over there who are local, they add a little bit of cardamom powder to their coffee. Now, why? There's a lot of magic in this. Even tea drinkers, when you add a little bit of cardamom powder or you boil your tea or coffee with cardamom, cardamom has the ability, it's got a chemical called phenolacin, basically. What this chemical does is it neutralizes acids in tea and coffee. It neutralizes caffeine. So we all know caffeine is a stimulant that boosts and stimulates your nervous system. But when you mix cardamom with certain foods, and especially tea and coffee and acidic foods, it can neutralize the acidic effect by boosting your digestive system and not stimulating your nervous system. So what's going to happen is you reduce the amount of acids produced by foods which are high in caffeine and high in acids, which is why when you go back to traditional food, all the heavy meals, all the curries, all the biryanis have elaichi in. Because elaichi or cardamom helps the body digest very heavy and difficult foods. So meat, for example, meat takes a very long time to digest. It's a protein. It takes a long time. It puts a lot of digestive burden on your digestive system to break down animal protein. But meat in the olden days was marinated with elaichi or cardamom powder. It was in the marinade to help digestive enzymes when you eat that meat to be secreted and break it down more effectively. So now when you have a heavy meal, or you've binged, or you've eaten too much, or you eat too much at those weddings and parties out there, you need to make sure that you get elaichi into your system as soon as possible. You can go home and just make a simple tea. Take 2 to 3 pods of elaichi, crush it once, and then just boil it in water. You can add cinnamon, you can add ginger, you can add pepper, you can add to it, but the base is cardamom and water. Or you can add cardamom to a little bit of your green tea or your black tea or your coffee. But if you don't do stimulants, just plain tea. Make your own infusion. Cardamom boiled with water. I would add a little bit of cinnamon, add a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of pepper, and then I'll cool it and add a little bit of raw honey when I stir it together. And that would be a concoction that will help your digestive system secrete more digestive enzymes. Let's understand, acidic foods affect the mucosal linings in our intestine and our stomach. And that's not a good thing, because when it irritates that, it creates more mucus. And we all know mucus isn't good for us. But the chemicals in cardamom, the chemicals in elaichi helps to neutralize that. It basically lines your mucosal system, not allowing the acids of your coffee, tea, or your food to create irritation in your intestinal mucosal linings. And that's how it protects you. The moment you ingest cardamom, your digestive enzymes get secreted. And we all know we need digestive enzymes to help us to break down the food that we eat the right way. It's not about what you eat. It's about how you eat it and how your body digests, assimilates, and absorbs what you eat. That is the complete process of digesting. Just having a healthy diet with improper digestion is useless for the human body, because your trillion cells are looking for nutrients from the food you eat. They're not looking for bowls and bowls of organic salads. They want the nutrients from that organic salad to reach your cells. And that can only happen with a smart and efficient digestive system. So, yep, when it comes to heavy meals, that's your remedy, although I advise everyone not to overeat. Overeating is the biggest issue, the biggest number one reason that we put on weight, we cannot lose weight, and we get disease. Overeating is a sin. We got to be careful of that. But in case you overeat, we're human, we all do it. It's all going to happen during the wedding season and partying sometimes. Cardamom comes to your rescue. Try to get that little cardamom in your tea, make a brew out of it, and that's what you can do. Blood pressure. Interesting studies showing the connection with cardamom and blood pressure. And for a lot of people who have high blood pressure, I don't advise them to have a lot of tea and coffee. In fact, minimum 1 cup a day, because it has a direct impact on your blood pressure levels. But if you put cardamom in, it's very, very rich in manganese. Now, manganese improves blood circulation. People who have high blood pressure have poor blood circulation. That's the reason their pressure goes up, because the heart's trying to pump blood through arteries and all of that stuff, and the pressure builds up because it's unable to do so. So there are fantastic connections with elaichi and high blood pressure as well. So if you can't give up that tea or coffee, at least get a little bit of cardamom added to it. Now, at a very interesting point, it's very rich in antioxidants, very rich in antioxidants. Now, like I said, there are so many foods that are rich in antioxidants, but each antioxidant has a different function in the human body. We produce free radicals from the junk that we eat, the sugar, the sedentary lifestyles, the toxic air, the toxic food that we breathe. We need antioxidants from natural sources to neutralize the free radicals and keep us healthy and keep our immunity strong. So, if we're toxic, when we're going through chemotherapy, we're going through radiation, we're going through sickness, or even we're just investing in prevention, try to get cardamom in your diet, because it has the ability to flush out toxins from your stomach. So a simple concoction of cardamom infusion or added to your tea can actually help you flush toxins out of your system, which is why in spas and treatment centers across Mexico and South America, you're given a drink before your treatment and after. It is nothing but crushed cardamom mixed with a little bit of honey, and you have that plain, or you boil it in water and then you add raw honey to sweeten it and you drink it. It is used to flush out toxins from stomachs. So you can use it as a natural detoxifier, although you should remember your body is equipped with a natural detoxifier. Your skin, lungs, liver, kidney, and bowels. You keep those 5 exits working, you're detoxifying normally without the aid of any retreats, spas, or treatments at all. That's the natural way of doing it, but we live in a world where contamination is massive. We're getting toxins from the water that we drink, the plastic that we touch, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat. It's everywhere, so sometimes we have to help our bodies detoxify. So that's about cardamom. That's why I call it the great Indian chai. You add cardamom to your chai, and now it just doesn't become a pleasure drink, it becomes a medicinal drink. And that's why our ancestors drank this for years, because the spices in your chai is what does the magic for it. For many of us today, it's just the sugar in the chai that gives us, that sweet and that kick of that sugar rush, and that's why we have like 10 and 15 cups of chai a day. But you have one good cup of Indian chai in the morning and one in the evening. You won't be craving more chai in between, because it's got spices in that improves digestion, and it's all about digestion to also help you control your cravings. Have a good day, everyone. You can carry a lychee with you. You can suck on it. It's an amazing lozenger for people with bad breath. You can just suck on that for a while and your breath actually changes. So you can carry a few of these with you. Now there's green cardamom and there is black cardamom. The black cardamom is far more powerful than the green cardamom. But the green cardamom is not bad at all to do everything that we spoke about. But if you get the black cardamom, it's more potent. So make sure you have that in your kitchen. You can carry a couple of them when you travel to cities where you have no control over the food that you eat. Just every hotel has like a kettle where you can boil your water, let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you can drink that concoction. So you have the star anise seed, you have elaichi. I mean, the list is endless. But civilizations all over the world have always used spices because they have medicinal properties to prevent, to treat, and to heal. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.